I would love to be, of course, the next person to fight Ronda after I fight Alexis on UFC 186. But I do think that the likelihood is that they're trying to find people who haven't yet challenged Ronda. So, they're trying to build up these fighters, and Betch, Jessica, I think that I beat both of them, and so, of course, I think that I should get that title shot. But I also understand, you want those exciting fights, you want the build-up, you want the hype, and I want to have those fights. Seeing how things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Betch and Jessica fighting, and the winner of that gets a title shot. I don't necessarily think it's deserving. They should be fighting, rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4 to get a title shot.
So many people get ahead by mouthing off, and you're a person who has always kind of come off very respectful and maybe not asking for something you don't believe you deserve, not want to put words in your mouth, but do you feel a sense of, I don't know, with this next generation of fighters, not even just women, but in general, that the mouthing off is a part of the game now, as important as what you do with your hands and feet?
I think ultimately the best thing is performance in the cage. If you can back it up in the cage, you can say whatever you want prior to the fight. If you just back it up in the cage and you don't really have anything to say, positive or negative, before the fight, you're going to get recognition, but it's going to take a little bit longer. I think Rory MacDonald is a good example of that. He really hasn't talked any smack. He's had some great performances. He's fought such tough guys, and he's finally getting his title shot, which I think is great. But at the same time, he probably could have gotten there faster had he been willing to kind of step outside of his own box. You're seeing with Conor McGregor, that kind of trash talk, and it's not even necessarily trash talk, it's just he's so confident, he's cocky, he has kind of a magnetism to him that's bringing you in, and that ability, along with the performance in the cage, I think is where you're seeing kind of the future of becoming a star in MMA going.
Well, we saw Jessica I here a little while ago, and that's why I wanted to ask, because after your fight, some people thought that she should have shown you a little more respect, and that as a woman who has been around for so long, that she should have at least admitted, some positive things to you, and she really didn't think she needed to do that, because she said she's been around a long time as well. Did that bother you at all, the way that she handled your fight and what happened afterwards?
I think there was a lot of mess that went on with that fight. I won that fight. I know I won that fight. Everyone else knows I won the fight, but it's also judging, and don't leave it up to the judges. It's my fault in that sense. I don't think she handled it well. I don't think that she represents herself that well. But I also think that that's who she is as a person, and if that's how, she kind of has that Cleveland attitude, if that's a thing, I don't know if it is. She's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't be friends with her. But at the end of the day, we get in the cage, and the next opportunity I get to punch her in the face, I'm taking it. For money, not in the street.
So you make the video with Misha, and you get the trilogy with Alexis. How did you feel when they called you with that match?
I knew Misha, having been off for injury's sake, it might be a little while, but Misha got online and said, "Hey, Betch Correa, let's take this fight, let's make this fight happen." And to me, that's like, no, you've been talking trash at me, calling me out, saying, "Let's fight." I get online, I want to make it happen, and she backs away. So to me, that's the kind of cowardly move, and I'm ready. I've been sitting and waiting and trying to get any fight I can. Clearly I'm not going to push to get Alexis, because we've already fought twice, and I don't really think that it's a fight that does a lot for my career. It's an exciting fight for the fans, and maybe we get a 50-grand bonus out of it. But at the end of the day, Alexis is a really tough fight, and Misha is an easier fight for me. So it's a bigger fight and an easier fight. Why wouldn't I take those two things? And it was really fun to smash a lot of cupcakes.
How many did you smash?
I messed up a few times. I may have smashed 7.
Oh, okay. Did it surprise you, or did you anticipate her coming back with I think it was the X-ray showing the injury? Did you anticipate that?
Well, she didn't actually come back with the X-ray until after my fight with Alexis was booked. It was crickets for a week and a half, and then all of a sudden, as soon as my fight's announced, then she comes out of the woodwork to say, "Oh, well, my eye's broken, so there you go. Ha, be relevant." And she should have done that before. Would have hyped the fight, but she doesn't want the fight. So it's that simple. She does stuff after the fact to make sure that she doesn't have to take the fight.
What makes you say that Misha Tate is an easier fight? Is there anything in particular?
I just think Alexis has proven to be very durable. I think maybe that durability is starting to go a little bit. You know, I fought her twice already, and I've done a lot of damage, probably to her little brain. But at the same time, I think it's one of those things where, at first she was really tough. It's kind of like that jar, where you can't open the jar, you hit it with the knife a few times, you loosen it up, you hand it to someone else because you can't do it, and all of a sudden, pop, there it comes off. And so, potentially maybe that's what happened with Ronda. I think that Ronda did a great job in that fight with Alexis, but at the end of the day, Alexis is so durable. And I think that is one of her biggest strengths. She usually has very good cardio, she pushes the pace and kind of keeps it always the same. She can go at 70% for 100 years, and that in itself it makes for a tough fight. She's on the feet, she's on the ground, she's very skilled everywhere. Whereas Misha, you can hit Misha, and I don't think she likes it as much. She's really tough. She broke her orbital bone in the first round and fought through, and won the fight. So there's no denying that. But stylistically, I think that matchup-wise, Misha's striking versus Alexis' striking matches up better with me, and then I just think that I can break Misha.
Would you take that fight after the Alexis Davis fight?
I want that fight. April 26th, after I beat Alexis, I want to have the contract to fight Misha Tate that day.
How likely do you think that is?
I don't know, but I want to make it happen. So if I have to keep smashing cupcakes, I'll do it. I'll throw cupcakes at the crowd. I'll do anything.
And now this is the third fight. Does that make it easier for you? Do you think you know her well, or do you think it's just as difficult?
I think that this is a lose-lose for me in that I'm supposed to beat Alexis. I've already beat her twice. But as I said, she's a really tough opponent. She's game, she's going to come in, she's going to be training hard, she's going to be hungry after her last loss. And so for her to come back after a loss with a win, to beat me, if we've already fought 2 times, those are all wins for Alexis. My win is that I'm going to be number 3, Misha's number 2, and I'm going to get that fight.